A lot has changed overnight, but Buick and GMC's commitment to you remains the same. We understand you want to feel safe, so we're offering current owners complimentary OnStar Crisis Assist services. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% financing for up to 84 months with deferred payment options for 120 days. Plus, you may have the option to shop online and take delivery at home. Visit our websites for the help you need.
Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
Hello, my name is Mark Berry. I'm a 4-year Air Force veteran and close to 20 years of DoD fire service. Last year, June of 2019, we happened to have one of the hardest parts of our lives happen. We had a medical with me, ended up with massive hemoptysis. And during that time, while I was in the medically induced coma, my wife frantically looked for help. She found the congressman's office, which responded extremely quickly. They found out that I was improperly coded in the VA and quickly helped to fix it, which allowed me to get a medical flight to UCLA and get the medical treatment I needed, and that's why I'm here today.
I just want to say to anyone out there, if you have any federal issues, please visit your congressman's office to see what resources are available.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
Funerals actually take a lot more planning than I expected. With us using island cuisine for the first time, of course we were iffy, but once they came and showed us their service, their food, tasted their food and everything, we definitely used them again because their service and food is just awesome.
After Guam, Sirot's Gimp introducing the 2020 Toyota Tacoma Access Cap T-Max. Este na mês, got to promo United Airlines, $1,000 United vouchers. After nananga, sabik man manono si Tacoma, Guam, Tacoma territory. Check Sirot's ginagi Atkins Pro Toyota, 671-788-2584. Talumbray, go Sirot's, sinanagan sa 671-788-2584. After nananga. Let's go places.
For as many accolades and celebrations.
Hello, everything. Hello. Yeah. If you haven't watched, if you don't know what Hello Everything is.
It's Hi Everything.
Oh, it's Hi Everything?
It's Hi Everything.
Hi Everything. And she looks high. She looks lit AF. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to Facebook. What's it called? What's her name? Her name is her name is Hi Miss Everything. And she looks lit. Anyway, buenas, Micronesia. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
Welcome to our studios here in Tumon, Guam. It is Monday? It's Monday?
Monday.
It is Monday, April 6th. It just, every day feels like the weekend. The weekend with lots of work, but it just, all the days are running into each other. But I'm not one of those people who is complaining about staying home because I love I love it. So I don't know, well, I don't have kids. There's that.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
You're not you're good.
I'm
you're
enjoying
good.
it, yeah.
Cello, you're enjoying?
Yeah.
So I don't really understand the people who are, except if I understand if you have a chat Mac and you're missing your chat Mac, then okay, fine.
Oh, I don't have any of those problems.
Yeah, wasn't pointing at you.
Actually, learning the kids. We're doing something new. We're starting prayer night.
Oh, cool.
So like the first couple nights, just hearing what the kids are thankful for it brings you to a whole different
Oh, that's awesome.
different area in your life
That's awesome.
because they're so innocent, you know, and the things that they're grateful for, that they're thankful for, and the things that they ask of God is so innocent, and it just takes me somewhere else.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah.
So, as people generally are trying to do what they can to stay home, not expose themselves and not expose others to the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever it's called, there are certain stupid people who are not abiding by that order. And we've made it a point when the magistrate's complaints come in to expose. We don't like expose all of the magistrate's complaints because there are certain things that are like whatever.
Yeah.
But lately, and I messaged Sergeant Paul Tapal, the police spokesman, this. I said thank you and your police department for what you've been doing lately because they've been focusing on family violence complaints and on robberies. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate way for the police department to be focusing on because they're sending, on top of helping families, right? They're also sending a message out to the community that the police department knows what's up.
Yeah.
They know what the priorities are, and they're going after those priorities. So earlier today, we put out a story about a man and a woman. The man is still being pursued by police, but a 28-year-old woman by the name of Misty Pangilinan, a.k.a. #Chronic Sidao, on Sunday at around 1:10 p.m., that was yesterday, Central Precinct Command had to respond to an incident in Jointnia. I think it's Artemio Street, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Artemio Street in Jointnia, where this guy was driving, and then Misty just pops out in the middle of the road, and of course the guy can't go forward. Like if it was me, I would run her over.
Me too.
Like especially if there was a guy who's with Misty starts pounding on the side. Yeah. Starts pounding on the side of the car, and like I would run her over because the guy was damaging my car. But of course I would tell police it's because I feared for my life.
Yes.
And
that is the reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
What's it called? What is that thing called? That act?
Oh, it's the
Castle Doctrine.
Castle, yes.
I'd be like, Castle Doctrine, officer. I was afraid that Misty was going to spew something chronic out of her mouth and it was going to melt my face or something like that. And so Misty, she, so the guy starts pounding on the guy's door. The driver rolls down the window. The guy punches his face. And then, so the driver gets out and they get into a fight, and Misty takes the opportunity to go into the car, and steal his bag, his phone, all this. It's not even an expensive phone, it was a cheap phone. Probably not worth like anything now because it's a used phone, right? And so the guy is able to get in his car after the fight stops, follows Misty and this unknown guy to a dark-colored Honda Civic or Honda Accord. Yeah. And then tells the police, it's this car, this license plate or whatever. So the police find the car in Jointnia. Like, come on. You couldn't even go to the next freaking village? Holy moly, Chronic Sidao. You couldn't even have the wherewithal to at least be a smart criminal.
I got a better story than this.
Oh, okay, so let's finish this because I want to hear it. So the police find the car, and because Misty's an idiot, finds Misty in the house, and they arrest her, and they charge her, or she's arrested for second-degree robbery.
Well, all we got out of that was $30.
$30.
But Troy, mind you, with
$30.
the way the market is now, you can get a good amount for $30. So.
But she didn't get anything because they found the $30. She didn't even have time to have fun with that.
Oh man, Misty.
Misty, man. Hey, call us when you get out. Call us if you need a shoulder to cry on. I mean, we're gonna embarrass you right now because now is like a dumb time to do stuff like this, and it's very selfish.
I got something more funny.
Okay, let's hear. I know this is gonna be funny. I know this.
So, one of the cousins in Jigo let another cousin borrow a truck, but the cousin gave her money or something, right?
Oh, this
They're
is
supposed to
gonna
help
be
each
good.
other.
I already know this is gonna be
right?
good.
So I guess the money wasn't enough, or the help wasn't enough for the greedy cousin who let borrow the truck, right?
Lil Mampus Pat says she's greedy.
She ends up taking the truck back and ends up crashing it into the wall at the baseball field.
And let me guess, no report to the police.
Nothing. It's still there. The truck's still there.
Oh well, go Shell. So this stuff is happening.
Chronic CDAO.
Chron-
8 moles CDAO.
Hashtag chronic CDAO. That's
Bonita.
no way. That's 16 ball right there. So, well, of course, that's not the only thing that Kandit posted. Kandit also posted photos that we got from someone's page, and it really did, I don't want to say infuriate us, but we couldn't ignore it. See, a few days ago, on March
No,
22nd.
Wait. More than a few days ago, we have, I believe I counted 6 emails and messages asking us to help their families bury their loved ones. So we've been asking questions. I also have been speaking to people who are in the funeral home business, and they're not allowed to touch the bodies, or they have to cremate the body within 24 hours, and these families are not allowed to mourn or have a celebration, because it's called a celebration for their new life, right? So we've been getting bombarded with all these people asking Kandit's help because nobody's answering them. They have to wait for a coroner. They have to, and this is the latest one, I believe, is March 17, Troy. So since March 17, there is a family waiting to bury their loved one. So there's 6 of them that I've counted in our emails.
And there's nothing we can do because the
Nothing.
governor issued an order, right? The governor said that the bodies must be buried or cremated. Only immediate family members can be there.
Right.
I just bit my lip because I'm fat. And within 24 hours of the death, because of this whole COVID-19, whatever, even if you don't have COVID-19.
Right.
And so when we saw these photos, we were baffled. And I saw them yesterday, and I didn't do anything about them because it was a funeral. I didn't notice that there was just these poker shots outside of the funeral. And if it was just that alone,
The funeral
that
alone.
it's a poker game or whatever, for me, I'm like, all right, whatever. This is gonna go around social media and people are gonna have their way with it. But then this morning, I found out that there were several members of the governor's senior staff, her bodyguards, Guam police officers, marshals who were in those photos. And this just came, this is, mind you, this was loaded onto social media yesterday, or the same day, or I'm sorry, this weekend, the same weekend that Governor Lulian Guerrero asked the Guam legislature to give her the power to arrest people for violating her unilateral orders on social isolation and social distancing. And among those violations would have been what's seen in those pictures, and if there are her own staff, her own bodyguard, her bodyguard are violating her orders already. Her scheduler was there?
Her scheduler is there.
How is she going to ask for the power to arrest people when her own people are doing it? It's not right. But probably more important than that, is the public health endangerment that ensued during those events. And how about the fact, I want to know whether the governor's bodyguard has been on duty since that picture was taken, because no matter what we may think of Governor Lulian Guerrero, that is our governor, and we should not want her to be exposed to this virus, because we want our governor to be well so she can do whatever it takes to protect us.
To get rid of this virus.
And
not
for her
spread
own
it.
bodyguard, who's just always within feet of the governor. Maybe we should ask. Let's call.
But why do their families get special privileges?
I don't know. And that's what happens when you call civil defense.
and public health. We're getting, a lot of people are calling, and that's what they're getting.
Busy signals, or they
Yes.
hang up on the phone on you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good thing. Jacob Nakamura says special rules for special people. I mean, it's really. Jacob says they are putting the lives of our frontliners at risk and delaying the time they can come back to their families. Shame on them. Yes, Jacob, we're trying to do live calls. They don't answer us. But is that the Joint Information
Try
Center?
311 because Nicole Flores has been trying to.
Thank you for calling the Guam COVID-19 hotline. If you have medical questions regarding
Press
COVID-19,
7.
press 1.
Press
If you
7.
would like to report a business in violation of the Social Isolation Directive, press 2. If you would like to report individual violations of the Social Isolation Directive, press 3. If you are a business owner with questions on...
Anyway, so, and don't get me wrong, of course I have compassion for the fact that this poker game where the pictures were taken of had to do with the burial of loved ones. And I, like one of those commenters said, I am glad that that family was blessed to be able to put their loved ones at peace and at rest, right? That's always a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. For me, it's this, how can the governor say that she wants to arrest us for violating her social isolation orders, and in the same breath, her own staff is violating it right underneath her nose?
Mm-hmm. What do you think they're gonna do to us? What are they gonna? What do you think the governor and her staff are gonna be able to do if and when that law passes to arrest us, right? If we go against them,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they can arrest anybody.
Nazi Germany.
Anybody that goes against this administration.
It'll be a Gestapo. Mark my words, people. That bill or that idea to give the governor the power to arrest, to criminalize violations of her unilateral orders, is something made only for dictatorships and should not be allowed to pass into law. Hopefully, Speaker Tina Munya-Barnes will reconsider that section of the bill that she has drafted, and hopefully they're listening and the senators won't allow something like that to pass. But that does not dismiss the seriousness of this issue. I've seen a bunch of comments about, what if we need to visit our family for this? And there are all of these real world situations.
Babysitting. If me and my husband work 12-hour shifts, 24-hour shifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my sister has to come and babysit my kids.
Mm-hmm.
What about those issues?
There are real world situations, and
Nothing's being addressed.
More brain racking than what I just got right before we went on. It was one of our friends who was asking on behalf of somebody else. The one parent of children is hospitalized. The other parent, and they're in the same household with the kids, right? So the dad is hospitalized. The mom now is having shortness of breath. So I said, you got to be hospitalized. She said, what about who's going to watch the kids? And you guys have to think about these real world situations, because the answer is those kids likely have coronavirus. Are you going to put them in the home of somebody else, or someone else's household that is not exposed to coronavirus, and then the virus will spread even further? How old are the kids? Is one of them old enough to watch over the younger ones? Is there like a 14-year-old in the house who is kind of responsible while both parents are being hospitalized for coronavirus? This is real.
What about the hotel rooms? Why can't they have a nurse a nurse at every hotel. If there's families that are infected, put those if they're paying for it, why do the families have to pay for it?
Sure.
Put them into a hotel room. The nurses check on the mother. If
Sure.
the father's in the hospital, why are they making it harder for normal people, not the administration people? Because there's a disconnect there.
Sure.
Why is that so hard?
Because this thing is going faster than they're able to coordinate. And the major point of it all, like what Dr. Felix Cabrera said, is that at some point, our resources will be so taxed that we won't have enough of those hotel rooms. The virus would have spread so much, and the need for hospitalization would have been so stretched that even people who need to be hospitalized will not be able to go to the hospital. They're going to have to deal with their shortness of breath issues and the pneumonia that they have in their homes with the rest of their families. Their children won't be able to be separated from them so that they may have a better chance because there are no more resources in order to curb this thing. So this whole thing about what the governor has been asking us to do, the governor's right. She's asking us to do something that we need to do. Now, how it goes about, why we're at this point, could she have done better? Hey, that's for another discussion.
Yeah.
That's for a whole other discussion.
But while last week the senators wanted to go into session to get money into the 99% of this island, the people, not the government of Guam employees, because I believe they're also, even if they're still getting paid, they're still having a hard time. But imagine the people in the private sector who have lost their jobs, and nothing from DOL has come through. Last week, the senators were supposed to go into session to get it to their. If that session happened, and Tina Munia Barnes did not listen to the governor and still had session, that money would have entered our pockets today. Okay, just remember that. So they didn't have the session. So this weekend, because this governor wants more power, because she probably realizes even her staff is not even listening to her. Now they're going to go into session. There's no relief for the 99%. None.
I'm very soon there won't even be relief for 1% at the rate that this is going. So, will the senators go into session about that bill to give the governor more power? It's still to be seen. Now, it looks more and more like senators are going to go into session on a bill that looks like is going to be drafted by Speaker Tina Munia Barnes at the behest of Congressman Mike Nicholas on some options that the congressman gave in a plan that would roll out money for all of you guys. I'm sorry, not all who are qualified in direct cash assistance. That's the $1,200 per adult, $500 per child, and the federal unemployment insurance payment program. You can find the story and the details of it on kanditnews.com and on our Facebook page as well. But in a nutshell, the congressman provided for the direct cash assistance program 2 different options that senators can choose from to get money into your hands faster. Because if we wait for the federal to local alignment from Department of Revenue and Taxation to the US IRS, it may take weeks for that money to get into your hands. So what the congressman is saying is, since this money is guaranteed to be deposited into the government of Guam Treasury, why don't you, Guam legislature, authorize, now this is the public plan, authorize GITA to issue a bond to the government of Guam Retirement Fund. And the retirement fund for a total of $10 million in interest that will be paid from the unused portion of the War Claims Fund. So the Guam Retirement Fund will earn $10 million in interest. At 7% capitalized interest, that translates into $142.8 million in capital to use from the retirement fund through GITA to direct deposit into the accounts of all those who qualify. That's the $1,200 and the $500 thing. At $142.8 million, that equals 119,000 people receiving $1,200. So that's at the high end of things. So what the congressman is saying is more than likely that's going to be more than enough money that is necessary to get that program out. And if the legislature is able to craft that legislation, which Speaker Barnes says she's doing, she's going to burn the midnight oil and all that stuff along with Senator Mary Torres and Senator Jim Moylan, and the speaker calls session, which she said she can do within a 2-hour period after finalizing the bill, that mechanism can be in place within a few days to a couple of weeks. Now, there's a private option where you do the same sort of thing. You guarantee, the legislature guarantees the use of the federal money as a payback source, but you, instead of using the retirement fund for the liquidity, you use the banks.
Right.
And so it's like a
Like
tax
PFC.
refund. Yes,
Like
exactly.
PFC. PFC gives tax
refund
refund loans. Yeah.
But the difference is that you, as the applicant for that tax refund loan, won't have to pay the interest. The government of
No.
Guam will pay that interest, and it should be capped at between 5 and 10% for the banks, so that that same $10 million source can be used as the annualized interest source for the payment of the banks.
This, you know, if we didn't know, if we didn't have anything to go by, meaning the legislature, but they have the congressmen to guide them through these things, and that's okay. Because
They're working together.
they're working together and we need it. And that is immediate relief for the people of Guam. So we really need to stand behind this, the legislature, the congressmen, because they want to get it done. As far as receiving the tax money from the stimulus in August or September, that's if we go by the governor's process. But if we go by the congressman and the legislature's process, if they get this done, we'll get it sooner than later, than what the governor wants.
Well, so the speaker, Senator Torres and Senator Moylan, seem to agree it's a good idea. And so they're going to work through the kinks of it. Because, you know, devil's always in the details, right? I don't know why, but during that conference call with the congressman and those three senators today, Senator Taitigui and a couple of other Republican senators, I believe Senator Luis Muñoz and Will Castro, put out a news release about how they're kind of miffed and they want the legislature to go into session and use that $10 million as the direct payment source for that $1,200 and $500. The problem is $10 million is not going to pay, what is that? Is that like only 7% of the total that's needed? Only 7% of the people are going to get that. But what the congressman wants to do is leverage the $10 million to open up $142.8 million in actual cash from either the retirement fund or from the banks. And so I sometimes I agree with Senator Taitigui, but in this instance, I can't agree with her because the plan by the three senators who were on the call with Congressman Nicholas is superior and gets money into. So if you go the bank route, which is the private option that the congressman was talking about, he believes that as soon as the legislation is passed, it would take 1 week for the banks to roll this program out. And they have the infrastructure, meaning the people to run the programs and the, what do you call it? The technology, the servers or whatever. Well, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Prim, you want to
chime in?
You want to chime in here and what I'm trying to say? The technology thing.
Yeah.
The IT. Yes. The IT capacity. There you go. Son of a gun. So that was that, and you can find more of that information on the big story on our website. That was our big story today, and on our Facebook page. And then there are other stories that we came out with. There is not going to be public school in Guam for the remainder of the school year 19, school year 20 school year. The Board of Education on Wednesday will be taking up further suggestions or recommendations by the superintendent regarding grading, promotion, and distance learning. And so those are items that are going to be taken up during the Board of Education meeting on Wednesday. That's the 8th, April 8th, and we'll bring you more of that news. It looks like the Board of Education is going to pass those measures, and they include using third quarter scores as a semester grade, promoting all K through 8 students unless it was previously decided that they were not going to be promoted.
Because my girl opened her class dojo, opened it yesterday at 5:30 in the morning, and she got a website. I guess the teacher put it out. So she's been on it, and I love it.
Oh, she thinks she's going to school, that's why?
Yeah, so I'm not telling them. I'm going to tell them that they have to keep doing that.
Isn't she going to be mad at you after?
She will, but that's okay. That's okay.
And then there's the sad news about
The children.
Yeah, kids catching the coronavirus. There's a baby, a 1-year-old baby, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I really hope these kids are okay.
Me too.
But probably the thing that should, really hit home for us is the kid between the ages of 10 and 19 who contracted the virus from a family event.
Right.
This is what Governor Leon Guerrero has been trying to tell all of us. Like, this is real. Everyone stop going to each other's homes if you're not in the same household or whatever. And it's real. And now kids have it. So 4 from household contacts, 4 of those kids, 1 from a family event and 1 from travel from Hawaii, from Honolulu, Hawaii. It's such a sad thing. Is there anything else you want to talk about regarding Guam news?
No.
So
just the GDOE lunch, breakfast and lunch. Parents, you just have to get there early. I'm pretty sure last week and the week before is the beginning, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be more food put out at the stations.
Okay.
So you just got to get there early. They're trying to get to parents as fast as they can. And I believe they started, because you can get as much as, if I drive up, I can ask for 15 plates and they're not going to question me. So now, because it's too much, I believe that the limit is 10.
There was someone who was, one of the board members told me this, there was someone who was asking for 100 plates at a time.
Oh, was that the mayor of PD?
No, this was like an individual for their household.
Oh.
And so they asked how many people are in your household, and they said 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It might have been Senator Amanda Shelton. I don't know.
I thought it was the mayor of PD, but yeah.
Moving on to news from the comment. Well, you know what? We haven't gone to our comments yet. Lynn Tadinko says, our Congressman Michael Sinicolas is a man of action. I applaud his efforts to collaborate with his local colleagues to assist the people of Guam. Biba Michael Sinicolas.
Biba.
Nicole Flores says, yes, 10 would be the limit. Ryan Tamilo Beneventi says, if the baby got the virus, most likely the parents, siblings as well, also the potential godparents and grandparents. Jacob says, no school food this Friday, though, because of Good Friday. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks, Jacob. Judy Mexico says, what is this about power? No one is entitled to get the Chamorro ancestral spiritual power. Only me, the Chamorro Lean. What's a Lean?
I don't know.
John Torrey Manzanone says, the decision to close the schools is a good idea, but lesson plans and some sort of online education should be implemented. Matter of fact, John, that's exactly what DOE is going to be doing. Now, it's not going to be for grading.
I hope they take this time to figure out our system, because we are a little bit dated.
Yeah.
But we're working with what we have.
Yep.
We actually had some great leaders that came out of public school. So, hopefully they take this time to figure out our school system and getting on the internet and making sure everybody. Didn't Dennis Rodriguez have a great idea when he was a senator, and that was to give everybody access to Wi-Fi?
It was Wi-Fi towers on all of the schools that does this transmission throughout so everybody gets Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Now, if you want the Cadillac Wi-Fi plan, then you go to ITE, Docomo, whatever, right? But to just basic Wi-Fi for everybody throughout a community, you put I forget what it's called, but it transmits the Wi-Fi signal from the top of schools.
Right.
And it's like a 2-mile radius or something, I can't remember. Anyway, and then also he wanted to put a tablet in the hands of every child.
Right.
So that they didn't have to carry books
grants
anymore.
For that.
Yeah.
Grants,
exactly.
federal grants.
But here we are with Governor Flou Leon Do you have your mic on? Can people hear you?
He never puts his mic on.
So Eric
He's
said,
still
everybody
below.
be KungFlou fighting. No kidding on the Kandit comments. It's lit. As lit as Misty Pangolina in 28 from Georgia. John says, I'm saying that the stimulus money should be handled by revenue and taxation. Oh, as opposed to Gita, I think is what he's saying. Let's see, what are your other comments? Hafiday Mary. B, who says, I missed the live with Congressman St. Nicholas. You can catch that live show on our Facebook page. It's also on our website. I embedded the live thing into the story on our website as well. Oh, everyone's just having fun commenting or having conversations with Jacob Nakamura.
Yeah, Jacob's pretty good at that.
B says,
someone was explaining what Leia means.
oh, what is that? I didn't see that.
Scroll down.
Roz Giovimeno says, the kids can do Moby Max. What is that?
I think it's another website.
It's another Roblox?
I don't know. I'm so glad that. Oh my gosh.
Is Roblox dead now?
No, it's not. But we can't go. I tell my kids we cannot buy it. You can't go to the store. All the store.
Don't do TikTok, people. China owns that. And hello, China's the reason for all of this, for this whole mess, the Wuhan flu. Atlanta Guzman says some states out here is having this kids for school year 2019-2020 to repeat their grade. Wow, that sucks. Thank you, Melanie. That really sucks. I would move out of that place. Hi, Johnny Titano.
Hi, my baby.
Leanne says, hi, Candid Familia. Leanne, I had a weak moment and I drank the wine that you passed out for your wedding. You know,
That wasn't wine. That's straight up liquor.
No,
Vodka.
there was wine. There was wine and vodka. I drank the wine.
Oh.
And I may have tapped into the vodka a little.
It's orange, the orange vodka, orange blue sky.
Well, whatever. It tasted
really
good
good,
after the wine.
I wouldn't know you took mine.
Oh, sorry.
I promised that I would save that bottle forever, but I didn't promise I wouldn't drink the contents of the bottle.
Well, at least you drank it.
Jesse says to Leanne, pay attention to the road. Jacob Nakamura says, China lied and people died. China lied a lot. Don't anyone get mistaken for 1 second. Can we put that, my favorite meme up?
Yes.
Don't be mistaken or don't get it wrong for a second. This virus came from China. China tried to blame the United States for it. And I'm not the biggest go USA person. I'm patriotic, to an extent and all that. I'm grateful, but I don't like this whole China tried to blame everyone else thing and is not taking responsibility for the commotion they've caused this whole world and the grief they've caused places like Italy and Spain, and for the 4 people who died here and those who are in ICU right now, the grief they're causing those families. Anyway, so moving on to news from the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. It's just brief, but it's important. One is the CFO of Imperial Pacific International CNMI LLC has resigned. His name was Ed Chen. Is Ed Chen? I mean, who knows? Maybe he will be was Ed Chen. You never know with that casino. And he's being replaced temporarily by Muffness.
Yes.
What's her first name?
I read it.
It's like Martha Muffness or something.
No, something. Yeah.
Amanda Muffness.
No.
Norma, let me just go to the story. He's being replaced by Muffness. This is compounding bad news for the casino, which has not had a good past few months with the raid.
No, I think they're doing pretty good the past few months. Their the governor there doesn't bother them for anything.
Well, Miss Muffness will now be writing those checks to Governor Ralph Torres, and I'm just kidding. I was just kidding.
They're not having a hard time.
Could be. And on top of the casino news, Governor Ralph Torres, speaking of him, is going to stop payments to retirees of the Commonwealth. And in his letter to the retirees, the spouse surviving beneficiaries, and the minor children beneficiaries. He says it's because of the lawsuit filed by the Board of Education that now ties his hands and prevents him from paying the retirees what they legally are owed and what there is an injunction to pay them. And he never once mentions in his letter, which essentially just blames teachers and public school employees in the Commonwealth, he never once mentions in his letters the audited financials of the Commonwealth, which show that the financial mismanagement happened over the past 3 years under his watch.
Right.
Ironically, during a time when he claimed that there were surpluses and everything was fine and dandy, he even lifted the first austerity order after the raids into his office, his home, and his brother's offices and IPI in November of last year. He said, oh, we don't need austerity anymore. And then in his second round of austerity, the first people that he targeted were the public school teachers.
Right.
And now he's
And they
saying,
never got their 30%
never.
back.
They already got they already took that austerity. They already took that money. And now the retirees are not going to be paid. And according to Governor Ralph Torres, that is the fault of the teachers. But Senator Paul Manglonia, who is the lone independent in the Commonwealth Senate, he wrote this letter